Hey guys, how are you today? It's good to see you. Beautiful Saturday. I didn't see anybody else live, so I thought now would be a great time. I'll give everybody a few minutes to pile in here. Let's talk about where this reward fund goes in just a month and a half, 2 months, if there is no summer wells. And who benefits from it? Hey, Broken Dishes. Hey, Leanne. How are y'all today? Hey, Amy. Hey, Mississippi Granny. Can y'all hear me okay? I've spent the last few hours, well, the last day or so, really looking into who's going to benefit from this $75,000 reward fund if no summer wells comes up, right? And we all donated to the Summer Wells Reward Fund, so it kind of concerns all of us. What happens to this money if there is no summer wells and there is no extension? And what worries me about there not being an extension is all this talk in Hawkins County the last few days about money and budgets and Hawkins County being broke and the court system being busted. Now, when you first look up the Summer Wells Reward Fund, it says, if Summer does not, if she's not found in the year, that it goes to the Child Advocacy Center in Mosheim, Tennessee. So when you look up Child Advocacy Center in Mosheim, Tennessee, what it brings you to is Child Advocacy Centers of Tennessee, 3rd Judicial District. If you're not familiar with this lingo, 3rd Judicial District means it goes to the courts. This money is overran and overseen by the district attorneys and general conferences of said county. This should be concerning to everyone, with Hawkins County coming out and saying, hey, we are some broke ass people. Because they know that there's $75,000 sitting over here in the Summer Wells Reward Fund, right? So when I click on this Child Advocacy Centers, Tennessee District Attorneys and General Conference, what they are supposed to do, Hawkins County, Mosheim, Tennessee, Mosheim. The 3rd Judicial District, Leanne. That's the key word. 3rd Judicial District. Where it is overseen by the district attorneys and the general conference courts. And when you click that link, you come up to Child Advocacy Centers in Tennessee. Child advocacy centers are vital to the investigation, Reporting and Prosecution of Child Abuse in Tennessee. They utilize multidisciplinary teams of professionals involved in child protective and victim advocacy services, law enforcement and prosecution, physical and mental health. Use the map below to find the child advocacy centers closest to you. Unsure of which judicial district you are in? Use our Find Your District Attorney tool to search by city or county. Now that sounds all fine and good if they're doing what they're supposed to do with the money. So again, give me just a minute. Some of this money also goes to back into child juvenile courts to prosecute juveniles. What it is meant to do is to help prosecute child abusers, which the district attorneys are not doing. The courts are using this money for other things. And as a nonprofit, should this money be handed over to the courts? Hang on with me just a second. When you get into words like judicial, it opens up a whole new ball of wax and a whole new ball of worms. Okay. Provide service to combat child S and physical abuse. Provides crisis intervention counseling, forensic medical exams, protective investigating teen court support for S and physical abused children. Provides service to combat that abuse. Who funds child advocacy centers? Speedway, children's charities, and anyway, when you get into who funds these organizations, you run right back into some of the organizations that absorbed Carly Trent's reward fund. The Kiwanis Club, or Kiwanis, however you say it. And these aren't volunteers, these are paid people that puts children behind glass and watches. Child Advocacy Centers, Hawkins County and Sullivan County, Tennessee. If you put the word adoptions in with Child Advocacy Centers in Hawkins County, Tennessee, it says that they place children with other relatives or adopt out children to be, and here's the words that they use, freed for permanent adoption. Hold on, I've got to download this whole PDF to read it. This is one of the documents that concerned me. Child Advocacy Centers. Some of the money is absorbed into the juvenile justice system and into the Tennessee Youth Court Program to prosecute youth offenders in assault, burglary, theft of property, vandalism, forgeries, cruelty to animals, unauthorized use of vehicles, criminal attempts, disorderly conduct, and harassment, criminal trespass, traffic offenses, runaway, truancy, curfew violation, unruly behavior, simple possession of certain illegal substances, possession, use, etc. of alcoholic beverages, and tobacco possession. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I believe in first offenses and juveniles being rehabilitated before we go to prosecute them. And when I put money into child advocacy, I expect for them to have an advocate before they go straight into the juvenile justice system to be prosecuted. But that is where some of this money is going to, into the juvenile justice system. Some of it goes into Tennessee, Texas. On the evening of Thursday, July 12, 2001, rioters stormed the Tennessee state capitol to protest the rumored discussion of a plan to implement a state income tax in conjunction with a referendum on a constitutional amendment to ultimately determine the fate of such tax. Egged on by talk radio, protesters referred to in television newscasts as freedom fighters threw a rock through the window of the governor's office and blah blah blah. Now, that was an old article, but it just goes to show that part of that money, whatever they want it to go to, it goes to, because that money is in the judicial courts. And then it goes home to tell where your tax dollars go. State employee salaries through the child advocacy centers. Part of that money is going to pay somebody's wages. Now, CPS already gets paid, and there's also state grants that pay these people's wages, but they're taking 501c3 money to also pay these people's wages? Come on now, really? Well, they're not here, Leon. It says right here that these people are anywhere from CPS to law enforcement to investigators to law enforcement, child protective services, prosecution, mental health professionals, medical, victim advocacy, children's advocacy, organizational capacity, oh gosh, and on and on and on and on. But anyway, it's simply because it is run by the third judicial court, not the third district to, like to represent the third district, the third judicial district ran by the district attorney and the general conference court. So basically, what it's telling you is the money's divvied out by the court system. The money goes where the district attorney and the general conference court decides that it goes. And like I said, this should be concerning when Hawkins County is over here screaming, we're so broke that we can't even start our freaking patrol cars. We can't even search for summerwells because we're so broke. And I say, if they cannot search for summerwells, then the court should not be able to absorb the summerwells reward fund. Right? I mean, if you can't get out and look for her, then why in the hell do you deserve to absorb that reward fund? If your district attorney cannot indict somebody for at least child neglect and child endangerment, which this money is supposed to do for victims like the Wells boys, then why do you deserve this money, sir, Mr. District Attorney of Hawkins County? Well, broken dishes, we know where the money's going, into the third district court. And then from there, wherever the court sees fit to do with it, even if it's to repair windows damaged by rioters. But we should not allow them to make a grab for this money and absorb this reward fund if they can't get out and look for her. Or if this money is truly meant to prosecute and protect children like the Wells boys, then, sir, Mr. District Attorney, I challenge you to prosecute these parents for exactly that before you take a grab for their sister's reward money. Church Hill Rescue Squad, who is, by the way, listed as a religious organization. Well, Leanne, you know what? All Ronnie Lawson has to do is hand that case over fully, hand that case over to the TBI and lay Summerwell's case down. But he's not willing to do that and let the TBI fully take over that case. Because I believe he's protecting too many people in that community. I watched these people in Hawkins County file for COVID relief to replace the money used for searching for summer wells. I watched this county lie to get COVID relief funds. The courts benefit in that. The third judicial court, the district attorney himself, the general conference court. Thank you, Broken Dishes. I appreciate that. I will put that towards the new computer fund. If Ronnie Lawson cannot afford this case, he needs to lay it down so that the FBI or the TBI can fully take it over. And if the TBI can't solve it, lay it down so a cold case foundation can pick it up fully. Because I do believe that somebody like that can solve it. And I'll be dropping another video here pretty soon. And I'll go ahead and tell you what I think about that. Y'all know how Jody Sue's been talking about the dogs are key, the dogs are key, the dogs are key with her opioid induced self. Let me tell you what I think. You know, on that 911 call where they say Candace went for a walk, Candace went for a run, Candace left that property twice. I think that each and every one of those dogs was rubbed down with summer scent. And then those dogs chased that truck off that property twice. Or Candace did go for a walk down that driveway and down that road, and those dogs followed her with summer scent on it. And by the time those scent dogs was brought up there, they didn't know which way to go. And that's my theory. And I guarantee you, you do a search on Jody Sue and Andy's computer, and you will find evidence where they have searched on how to confuse these search dogs from the time she got in the creek with her shoes. And that's no lie. Keep talking, Jody Sue. I'm not dumb. Each and every one of those Wells dogs was rubbed down with summer scent before they was run through the woods. Y'all think about that. I think Summer's footprint was intentionally put on that property with her scent. You think about what makes sense. These people are not the smartest people in the world, but if you think like a criminal, you'll figure it out. And let me tell you, I have been around some criminals. I was the only one out of four kids that made it through college. I was the only one out of four kids that come up out of it that made something out of my life. And I was the only one to survive. All my brothers and sisters have passed. Now, if you listen to what she said, and she said one of the scent dogs stopped at her feet. One of the scent dogs stopped at her feet. And then her dog proceeded to fight the scent dog. When that dog stopped and laid down or pointed or whatever it done at her feet, they should have cuffed her ass right there. Yeah, I've seen that. I'm past all that. I'm down to facts. You see, Jody Sue didn't talk about how they got the dogs to do all that, but I'm telling y'all how they messed with those dogs because I have worked and been around scent dogs, and the only way you can throw those dogs off like that is if you rub the scent on other dogs. Think about it. How did that footprint get there, and how did that footprint get there? I've got two theories on that. Now, they was either cooking meth up on that block, up on that ridge, and those kids have been running back and forth up to that ridge for months, and those footprints been there for a long time, and those dogs following those kids back and forth to where their mom and daddy was at, or that kid was took up through the woods on purpose, and a footprint put here and a footprint put there. They used summer scent. And if you go back and look on the videos, Summer is wearing the same clothes on the 15th that she was wearing on the 11th in Gatlinburg. The videos that was supposedly taken on the 15th of her swimming and everything is the exact same clothes that she was wearing on the 11th. Now, did they let that kid go 4 days without changing her clothes at all? They could have, but doubtful. There's been a lot of these QAnon or Second Amendment. Not saying there's anything wrong with these um, constitutionalists, but sometimes they're excessive. But there's been a lot of constitutionalists, Second Amendment people, QAnon people pop up on YouTube just in the summerwells case. The QAnons have banded with these Protestant religions, and all they preach is conspiracy theories in the book of Enoch, these fallen angels, and they're anti government, and how the government's going to take your kids. And they're telling these people, you've got to take your own kids. If the state comes for your kids, you have to hide your own kids. And they have this organization set up for people to hide their kids in from the government. And we have to look at that as a possible theory too. Hawkins County passed some kind of bill back a couple of months ago that protects religious organizations. They had something like 4,000 new people that have moved into that state for religious and gun freedoms, or just into Hawkins County, I believe. And it was some sort of bill. I'm going to have to re-look it up. It was some sort of bill to where outside governments could not have any influence in Hawkins County. That the Hawkins County government reserved the rights to override any other kind of government, anything coming down on these people. I don't, hold on, let me look it up. That way I'm not telling y'all wrong. Commission votes to make Hawkins a constitutional sanctuary county. see if I can find the article. The Hawkins County Board of Commissioners is scheduled to vote at its Monday, January 24th meeting on a resolution to make Hawkins County a constitutional sanctuary county, not to be confused with left-wing sanctuary cities, which pledge to protect illegal immigrants and other criminals from prosecution. Constitutional sanctuaries pledge to protect a God-given right of citizens guaranteed by federal and state Constitution Bill of Rights. Nearly all Tennessee counties, including Hawkins County and the rest of East Tennessee, and many counties in other states have passed resolutions declaring themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries in support of gun rights. A much smaller number of U.S. counties, less than a dozen by this author's count, has pledged to protect all individual rights and to obey all constraints on government specified by U.S. and state constitutions and their Bill of Rights. The local group, Grassroot Patriots of Hawkins County, took the initiative to draft a resolution in collaboration with 5th District Commissioner Mark DeWitt, who will introduce the resolution at the January County Board of Commissioners meeting. According to Woody Boyd, who worked with DeWitt on the resolution wording, we're in the midst of an epic migration from blue to red states. A lot of the migrants are God-fearing conservatives that appreciate East Tennessee values. Some are lefties trying to escape the consequence of stupid policies they've supported for years. Passing this resolution will make a clear statement that we welcome those who share our values. Others should look elsewhere. In their town meeting, they said that anybody in the county that did not approve of this resolution should move. That was exactly the words they used. The resolution stipulates in part that Hawkins County declares itself to be a constitutional sanctuary county and reaffirms the protection of liberty found in the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Tennessee, that no agent, employee, or official of Hawkins County in his or her official capacity shall knowingly participate, whether by act or omission, in conduct that infringes upon any individual's rights as expressed by the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the State of Tennessee. And I suggest you go look up what all that means, or go watch the board meeting. Go to hawkinscountypatriots.org, which also has the full text of the resolutions. Yeah. So that means even certain people in Hawkins County could be helping them hide this kid. And I want y'all to remember back in Candace's prank phone call to Mary when she's yelling, "Storm the Capitol." Jody Suze talks about going to Washington, D.C. Candace talking about watching Jody Sue's house while she goes to Washington, D.C. All the signs are there, people. Look around. Look around at the YouTubers that are flying the Second Amendment flags that are, just look around. Look at the locals that are here with us. And then to find out that 75 grand is about to be absorbed into this court system. into a court system that cannot afford to look for summer wells, a court system that cannot protect the rights of the Wells boys and do what it was designed to do, which is prosecute the people responsible for the neglect and the abuse. For the child endangerment. Y'all wonder where I disappear to for 2 or 3 days at a time. And y'all send me emails. I miss your lives. I appreciate that. I love y'all with all my heart. But this is what I'm doing is actual research. That way I'm no longer just getting on here and babbling, putting some truth into what I'm saying. I got to go pick up my doggie from the groomer real quick. They just text and said she's ready. Miss Cookie went to get her nails done. Well, go look up the town meeting, Leanne. They said if your neighbors disagree with this resolution, they need to move. And one lady stood up and said, I have lived here all my life. I've been here 30 years. And they said, well, if you don't agree with this, we suggest you move. Terrible. And they go on to say that they've had like 4,000 religious migrants or something move in on newly bought property. Newly acquired property. Because, I've said I'm not going to get on the church and the conspiracy part of it again. But the evidence is there to support that. Just hang on just a minute, guys, because I'm driving, so I can't really read the comments right now. So just hang with me. The whole system in Hawkins County has been corrupted. But they failed to tell us before we donated money to this fund that it was going to a judicial court system in Hawkins County that is now saying we're busted, we're broke. We can't look for summer wells. But hey, how about give us this money? And that's why Ronnie Lawson won't give up the case. Because giving up the case would mean that he's going to be giving up that $75,000. That's why he won't hand it over to TBI. Y'all feel me? And that would be inviting outside influence into his constitutionally sanctuary county there. Oops, I passed. I know I don't have on my seatbelt. That's what that is. I'm just going right here. All right, let's go in and pick up Miss Cookie real quick. Hey, lady, I need to pick up Miss Cookie. Yeah. Thank you. Can you let Jerry know I picked her up? What? Let Jerry know I picked her up. All right, thank you. Hey, girl, did you get your nails done? Yes, you did. Was you a good girl? You look so pretty and white. Come on, let's load up. Her's a pretty girl. What color is your nails? Oh, they're bright pink. Let's go. Come on, get up. Get up there. Get up there. Come on. I ain't picking you up because you're fat. Go. Come on, get up there so we can go. Come on. Load up. Good girl. All right, we got Miss Cookie. They were all out of cat food. Sorry, Leanne. Put your seatbelt on, Cookie. All right, back to the house. Now I can finish my rant. I appreciate y'all sticking with me while I pick up Miss Cookie there. The pet food is getting scarce. Miss Cookie was upset that they were out of her duck and venison food, and she kind of snarled her nose at me this morning when I put out beef and barley. She was like, "Woman, have you lost your mind?" Yeah, I think that that might have been an overreaction. And when dogs run loose, sometimes they get hit by cars. I don't think that that's an intentional. But I do wonder if anybody is feeding and taking care of those dogs up there while she's gone. I've wondered that. What is really going on there? Yeah, she'll go home and sleep Cookie will go home and sleep for a long time now. She's all clean and she'll go home and eat and then she'll sleep. Dogs are funny about time. I've not figured out how she knows when Saturday is, but she goes to the groomer on Saturdays. And like she'll be waiting for me with her leash in her mouth on Saturday mornings. And I'm like, how do you even know that it's Saturday? It just blows my mind. How do dogs figure that out? But she knows exactly when Saturday is. And she won't let me be late either. She's like, hey, get up. It's time to go. And she loves going. That's one good thing. I don't have to force her to go. And she loves the little girl that bathes her and does her nails. When we take her in, she goes right to her and just real friendly with everybody. She goes right to the big cage. She knows which one is hers. She does not give them any problems. She loves getting her bath and she loves getting her nails done. And I only take her to that one place. I had took her to one other place, and after I had picked her up, her ear started bothering her, and she dug and dug and dug in her ear. She shook her head, she shook her head, and I thought, well, maybe there's water in her ear. And after about a week, I took her to the vet, and the vet said, I think somebody slapped her in the ear. There was damage to her ear. And I went down there and I gave that woman a what for, and I have not took my dog back down there since. I was like, how dare you even treat an animal like that? I said, if you was having problems with her, you should have called me and I would have come and got her. Which she denied doing it, but the vet said there was damage to her ear. There was damage to her ear. I believe my vet. You ready to go in? Let's go in. There's a good girl. Let me get the house key. Let me get the house key. Hold on. Let's unlock it. There we go. Can I have the leash? Can I unleash you? Ah, there's your air conditioner. All right. So, advocacy center run by the third judicial district goes to the district attorney, or is overseen by the district attorney, and the general conference court. It's supposed to help prosecute people who endanger children, neglect children, abuse children. It's supposed to help children like the Wells boys. They can't seem to do that. And this county is broke, broke, broke. And I guarantee you that they try to make a grab for the 75,000 instead of renewing this reward fund. and they don't deserve it. Because if they're not capable of prosecution, a trial, because they can't afford that, and they cannot search for summerwells, they don't deserve to be handed $75,000 of our hard earned money. And it was our money who took the reward fund from 75,000 or from 35,000 to 75,000, something to that effect. I don't remember the exact numbers now, but it was on up there. We raised a lot of money. I think we all donated, or we bought clothes, bought hoodies. I don't think I donated cash. I think I bought hoodies, but I had bought like 3 hoodies. But the point is they did not straight up tell us. They said a child advocacy center, or I think one time they said that the child advocacy center in the 3rd district. They never told us child advocacy center in the 3rd judicial district, overseen by the district attorney and the general conference court. That's a big difference. Ronnie Lawson running his little Second Amendment uh, county. He don't want to lay the case down and let the TBI take it over, because then he will lose the $75,000 reward fund for his county, and then he will be inviting outside government agencies inside his little constitutional sanctuary. It's bullshit. And lost in all of this money and all of these fucking scams, the Wells boys are not going to receive the exact justice that they need, and Summer's not being looked for, because it's about dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs. That's exactly right. Legal theft. Well, even if they leave the states when they're older, every time somebody Googles their name, and employers do social media searches now, that's a proven point. Look at the people that has lost jobs because of YouTube videos that have been posted about them. Because employers do social media checks. What happens when these kids apply for a job and somebody runs a social media check on one of these kids? They're going to have to change their name. What if one of them joins the service? They sure enough run social media checks, Google searches. And I remember that from when my son joined the army because he was like, Mom, I need to remove this, 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 and this from Facebook. That's what's going to be sad about it. I know some of the rest of y'all have sons that age, maybe some a little older, or even daughters. And some of us has had daughters that's had even just like a sexting picture escape on social media and the tragedy that that brings. And that's like terrible tragedy to a teenager. Just one picture. Could you just imagine what has been said about those Wells boys and how tragic that's going to be? And that's some things that should have never, ever, ever been said. And I'm asking anybody that has put up videos that has named those Wells boys in association with SA, please remove those videos. Take them down. The few cents that you're making on those videos is not worth the heartache that those boys are going to have to go through later in life. So I'm asking from the bottom of my heart for y'all to, if it names those boys and implicates those boys in SA to their sister, take those videos down, please. They are young enough to stay if their name's not splattered all over social media. No, Leanne. Well, if one of them applies for a job at 16, it could possibly happen. You know, some kids start applying for jobs at 16, 16, 17. You know, I know my kids started working. My daughter, she actually started looking for a job, the summer before she turned 16. Right. Well, when you go to an employer and you apply for a job, you sign that privacy release. You give them that right to search that social media. But anyway, guys, I've been at this for over an hour, and y'all know how I feel about really long lives. And when you go for really long lives, the less chance that somebody else is going to sit and listen to it. And this is pretty important information to get out so everybody knows where this money is going and why Ronnie Lawson will not set this case down and let somebody else have it so we can actually search for Summer. And I'm going to ask y'all, and this is something I do not ask very often, is for you to share this video out. Because I believe that it is very important information to get out there this time. And let everybody know that this is a judicial court system that this money is going to go into. Now, bottom line is Hawkins County is hollering, we're broke. We don't have money for officers. We don't have money to start our patrol cars. We don't have money for our jails. We can't feed our inmates, blah, 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 blah. We don't have money to search for Summer Wells. We don't have money for prosecution. We don't have money for trials. We don't have money for this, this, and this. But hey, in a month and a half, 2 months, there's going to be $75,000 freed up in the third judicial court system that's going basically money the district attorney can divvy up. We can do with what we want. All we got to do is make a grab for it. And we somehow need to find a way to make it hard for them to make a grab for it. I'm going to try to send a link to Brian Enton. I'm going to try to send a link to Jennifer Coffindaffer. I'm going to try to hit some big name people with this video. I don't know that it will do any good. I'm going to try to hit WJHL with it, but that is one of Tim Mullins' contacts at WJHL. I'd probably hit a brick wall, but I'm certainly going to try. But we cannot let them make a grab for Summer's reward fund. We absolutely cannot. And if they do, we cannot just let it be easy for them. And that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking for, is for this not to be an easy grab for Hawkins County. Because so far they have done nothing for this little girl. Nothing. And if y'all are not subscribed to Mississippi Granny, help her get her community tab. Robin, if he lays down the case and hands it over to TBI, then his third judicial court district will no longer get that $75,000 reward fund. The reward fund is going to be overseen by the district attorney and the third judicial general court conference. That's what they didn't tell us about this child advocacy center that the reward fund is going to. It is the Child Advocacy Center of the Third Judicial Court, overseen by the District Attorney and General Conference Court. Well, of course, the FBI is involved. The TBI is involved, but he holds the case file within his judicial court. And the point is his system is broken. And there's $75,000 reward fund sitting there that's going to come up due in 2 months. But I love you guys. This has been Valkyrie's Corner. I'm out.